What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Venom issue number 18, and this issue is absolutely phenomenal. I'm telling you guys, this is not an issue that you want to miss out on. This one gives some heavy detail of the King in Black. What is the purpose? What are they meant for? What is their job? We are learning exactly what the King in Black is meant to be. Eddie Brock has been through so much, but he's never truly understood what it is to be a King in Black. But now that he has made it to this place, he is about to learn exactly what his purpose is. And this is going to change everything forever. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up in what is called the Unbeyond. This is the heart of the Hive, the true home of the King in Black. But this is not a throne room, this is an engine room. This is where they do their work. Eddie looking up at this hand talking to him. It tells Eddie to tell me what we need to be doing. Tell me the road that led you here and ask me your questions. The first thing that Eddie thinks of is his son. He needs to know about his son. And the hand finds this very interesting. A moment ago, he could barely recall his own name, a broken jigsaw of a man, but immediately, his thoughts, they turn to Dylan, and he knows this to be true. Dylan is the only thing he truly knows right now. What he wants to know is if Dylan is safe. The hand confirms that Dylan is safe. In fact, in this present moment, in slice of time, safe is putting it mildly, because Dylan is putting a beat down on Osborn, on the Gold Goblin, with Eddie trying to figure out what that was. That was simply a glimpse at the question that he asked. This was the answer. The hand lets him know that he has 4 questions left. The hand asking, what road had led you here? He says that it was Meridius. He is why he is here. He is curious on what he needs to do to stop him. The hand reminds him, tells him, not to waste this, because Eddie has known the answer to stopping Meridius all along. He needs his other. He needs his son. He needs both of them, and he needs Venom. The hand only confirming that this is true. The question should be, how far will you go to reach them? And Eddie would go to the end of the world, all the way to the Garden of Time, which the hand finds interesting that these are the first memories to come back. He remembers that place because it was a graveyard. Every corpse of every symbiote that had ever lived shaped into a soulless plastic hell. This place is the scene of Eddie's crime, because Meridius is his future, and Eddie is Meridius's past. He jumped into Noel's shoes with both feet, without even checking if they were his size. Noel was worse than pure evil. He was pure unbeing. A single note of darkness, howling for eternity, the voice of the void. Noel was nothing, so Eddie tried to be everything. He turned the symbiotes into his army. He said that he was setting them free, giving them a choice. But when a king decrees, can the subjects truly choose to disobey? In the future, Meridius destroys the mind of every single symbiote. He does this so that they can serve as nothing more than furniture. The hand is asking for a question that Eddie just doesn't have the answer to, and so he gives it to him. What is the purpose of a power like this? What does it achieve? Who does it serve? What is the King in Black for? This is when the hand goes on to explain that there are 2 dominant philosophies of magic. There are the light magicians, like Doctor Strange, affecting the world from a place outside and above it. And then there are dark magicians, changing the world from its broken heart. A path that creates a taste for worldly power, and thus build villains, but not always. There is no inherent moral superiority in either of them, because both are reflections of entities far above and far below. Far beyond. Eddie had come via Limbo, the Earth's place dark opposite, to the Black Engine, where the work is done. But there is another engine, tended by those entities operating on a cosmic scale, from their cosmic sanctum. They believe they control everything from outside everything. They call these the Ivory Kings, Lord of the Wild Space, or to us, we know them as the Beyonders. These are the Kings in white, and so the Kings in black, they are the opposite numbers. Ivory Kings do their work outside the world, Onyx Kings from within. This means that he is bound by the world, working through the clean, precise energies of all of this going on, but through organic matter, wet, messy goo, working with the universe in symbiosis. But the work is the same. You have to maintain Eddie Brock and nobody else. He has to keep the train on the rails, keep the plane in the air, keep the whole show running, or give up and embrace the eternal end, just like Noel had done. And Eddie says that this is not fair, the hand telling him that Noel said the same thing. Eddie says that he has the wrong guy. Noel said the same thing, saying that you have the wrong guy. Why does it have to be me? And Noel said the same thing. And eventually, so does everybody else, telling him welcome to the world. But the Beyonders, they got the easy job. Kings in pristine white gloves, keeping their hands clean. But the King in black, their hands get dirty. They get bloody. Their hearts get torn and broken. Being a King in black hurts. And in a time before time, a space before space, Noel couldn't hack that. When the Celestials found him, they weren't coming into the void to attack him. They were coming to recruit him. They were going to give him a job. But Noel, he pretty much burnt his draft card, because a god of the void is a god of nothing. And so there is nothing that he ever has to be responsible for. This is when Eddie Brock, he goes to quote Uncle Ben, saying with great power, believing that maybe this should have been Spider-Man. The hand lets us know that Spider-Man was born for this role, but life happened, and he is not here. Eddie is. Eddie had bought the ticket, and so somebody has to take the ride. I do want to point out that is one of my favorite Hunter S. Thompson quotes, and I love that it is in here. But Meridius didn't want to take the ride. When he says Meridius didn't want this, it's that he didn't want to be the hand, asking who the hand is, and wanting the long answer. Now he already knows the short answer. This hand is Eddie Brock, but he is so much more than that. We can call this hand the Eventuality. Noel is a straight line. He tries to destroy everything. He fails, and that his timeline is over with. The timeline of the true King in Black for this reality is much more complicated. Eddie Brock takes the throne and the power and the curse. And unlike his opposites in the Beyond, he is non-linear, unstuck in time. His path has already forked once. During the moment of decision in limbo, it will fork again and again and again. He will travel back and forth in time, restless, rootless, into the forgotten past, into the possible futures. He will lose this power. He will regain this power. He will lose it again, and then it will happen, and it won't happen. Already did, and already didn't. From here, the hand can see the whole map, the whole maze. So many choices that he can make from here. So many paths that Eddie can go down. But every single one of those paths, they lead to the Eventuality, far surpassing the age of this cosmos. His work in this world is finally done, and he comes here to supervise, giving a little prod here and there, just like the hand is doing right this moment, keeping a whole Venom verse of King in Blacks on the rails. This is ensuring that they don't get another Noel. Or maybe they do. When this cosmos ends and the new one begins, maybe Eddie Brock will be there, renewed by the cosmic void, waiting to greet a new King in Black to take his place. Maybe he becomes the next Noel. He becomes the bad guy, the fire that tempers his replacement. Maybe he has to become the bad guy for a new King in Black to rise up. Or maybe he just buys a Maserati. Either way, he plans to enjoy his retirement. Meanwhile, this Eddie Brock, he is the sap on the factory floor. The hand lets him know that they are all stuck. All the iterations of Eddie Brock, everybody stuck in their lives. That's what broke Meridius, what caused all of this, what caused the eventuality. Now Eddie trying to wrap his head around all of this. If this hand is what Eddie becomes, one way or another, or 100 other ways, he gets that. What he doesn't get is what he is now. Eddie Brock's body is charred skeleton in a morgue someplace. So what is standing here? But this is nothing more than a loner. He needed to wear something. But Eddie is tired of all the riddles. He wants to know where his body is gone. He believes that the thing he is wearing is just some kind of construct of goo. Asking, is it real? Trying to figure out what is he? The hand lets him know that he is more than he knows. He has a power within him that can save his son, can save his other, maybe save everything that is. But he has to let himself see it. His son is half human, half symbiote. He got there the easy way. He was born into this. But Eddie had to take the back road. He died, and his mind had jumped, seeking out a body that belonged to him, that fell upon his jurisdiction. That is what made him jump to the garden, a place made of dead symbiote flesh. The hand just spelling it out for Eddie. He has absolute power over any flesh that he commands. And while symbiote bodies are shared among all the King in Blacks, the human body of Eddie Brock, at the time he inhabited it, it is his alone. So with this knowledge, the hand asks Eddie Brock, what work needs to be done? What are you going to do? Eddie understanding that he must fix what is broken. He has to fix himself. And so he is going back in and he is going to kick his own butt. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. We just got a huge information dump. We have learned that the King in Black is the polar opposite to the Beyonders. So I think it's safe to say that the King in Black is as powerful as the Beyonders. But with the Beyonders, where there are many, the King in Black is the opposite, which means that there is only one. I think this is a very unique and fun way to really have us understand the true power of the King in Black and what he is capable of. The Eddie Brock hand letting us know that no matter the path that Eddie chooses, the eventuality is always what he will become. He will eventually lead to a place where he takes a supervisor position looking over the cosmos. And if this cosmos ever ends, there may be a day where another King in Black comes to take his place. He believes that maybe one day he will have to become Null. Not for the sake of being evil or doing evil, but for the sake of the next King in Black to rise up and be everything that it needs to be. This was just such a huge revelation I truly did not expect. This also makes me curious on if we might actually see the Beyonders have some kind of part in everything that is going on. We know how powerful they can be. Some would argue that they are the most powerful entities in all of Marvel Comics, with very few exceptions. And so that means that the King in Black, he may be equally as powerful. This would help us understand why Sentry was taken out so easily by Null. Honestly, this is a story that I'm gonna have to sit here and I'm gonna have to think about for a couple of days. I'm gonna reread this comic a couple of times and I'm really going to absorb it and see how I feel about it in a couple days, because man, this is so much information being dropped in one single issue. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything that is going on with Venom, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.